What is up, YouTube? It's your boy RikuTheBest, better than the rest, aka the Dark Knight. You call me that, you're good for today. You want to know why? Because we're going to talk about free to play in Dokkan Battle. For the people that don't know, whenever I put like F2P or FTP, that generally means free to play, as in you don't use stones for that certain character, you don't use stones to summon anybody. Pretty much, that's what I refer to as free to play. Well, it's generally that's what it is. I just want to talk about free to play in Dokkan because it's at a point to where summonable LRs are becoming the new meta, and 120% leads are, of course, still a thing. But like, you remember before? I think we got the 120% leads. We had like the 70% leads. You know, Super Vegito, Broly, his whole squad, Buhan, Omega, and Gotenks. You remember how that was a thing? And then the Super Strike characters were, well, I wouldn't say characters, but one in particular, the skinny Gotenks, the attack one, he's a baby godly. They would refer to him as a baby godly because he gives not as high of a boost as at the time the godlies, which was 70% all across the board. When I mean across the board, that means HP, attack, and defense is what I mean when I say all across the board. But he gave some type of percentage and plus key to attack. I think it was to attack types. Yeah. And he gave a certain percentage to HP, attack, and defense. Something free-to-play players could use if they were unlucky enough not to get any real god leads. They could use skinny Gotenks for a tech team. You have free-to-play tech units such as LR Goku, which should be the main unit everyone free-to-play should definitely get. You only need Super Strike characters. But the whole point of this video is talking about how they should add more units to the game that are free to play, you know, because the original LR units were obtainable by everyone, as in LR Goku, LR Androids, LR Frieza, LR Ginyu. And when they got to like LR Vegeta, LR Gohan, LR Broly, they became summonable LRs, and they also became a god lead as well, or 90% lead is what we would refer them as, because they have 120% leads out now, but 90% leads, which includes the LR cards, are still viable, especially LR Gohan, by him being the highest damaging unit in the game. Still, he's the strongest card in the game. But yeah, as far as the LRs, they should have kept them obtainable by everyone. They should have kept them free to play through some sort of event, through some sort of friend point summon, some type of way. Just, I mean, I guess the summonable LRs are cool, but if you do not have the money to spend on stones, and you don't have any current god lead that is out right now, you're screwed. If you don't have any of the 120% leads, any of the summonable LRs that could act as a leader, 90% leader, you're pretty much screwed. You can use the 70% leads up to a certain extent. They can still be run on teams. Actually, hold that thought. They can still be used to beat events. As you can see, I've beaten an event with Rose Goku with all the original god leads, all the original 70% leads. I use Rose Goku's lead, Goku Black. Well, he's a demigod at the time. I think that is dead now. Mega Shenron was a 70% original strength lead. Buhan lead for intellect. I didn't use physical Broly because my Broly sucks, but nonetheless, the outcome would have been the same with Rose Goku and all the other units been on the team. That could still work. Old mono villain, like, I don't have any of their newer villains, so if I make any video of mono villains, it's going to be the old 70% leads and showing you guys that these events are beatable with older units, so you don't have to summon for every single body that comes out, especially if you're free to play. You should only summon for certain people. Like for global, if you're free to play, you have stones saved up. Bypass all these banners. The fusion banner, the summonable LR banners. Why risk at a low chance of getting nothing? You know, you're not getting anything out of it. Keep in mind, some people did luck out and pull LRs out of the double rate banners with them not being featured. Why risk that chance? Go for a banner that has, well, the next banners, and well, the 2-year anniversary for Global Dokkan will be the Super Saiyan 4s. Free to play, summon or either or. Yes, One may be better than the other. I will not say anything. I don't want any controversy. But they're both God leads and will be the top 10 strongest cards in the game on global. Well, provided Broly is on there now and he's kind of up there as well. But free to play in global, not even in global, free to play in Dokkan just kind of getting worse now. Just getting much worse. I just wish to a point that they can make new events and make baby God leads. Actually, at this point in time, since we are getting 120% God leads in global, they should make Super Strike events with 50% baby God leads that are easily obtainable with the free-to-play players. You know, it's no different than how they have raid characters in Naruto Ninja Blazing that are usable, like Pain, Nagato, other units. But like I said, free-to-play in Dokkan is just getting worse from this point on, you know. Not everyone has the currency to spend on it like the YouTubers normally do. And, you know, like, it kind of gets to me because, you know, I don't want it to affect the community in a negative way. I buy stones, not as much as I used to, but the fact still remains that free-to-play players are getting the short end of the stick, you know. And I want it to be fair all across the board, as in for the free-to-play players and the pay-to-play players. I don't feel like I hit the mark just yet, but yeah, like I said before, they should release more LR cards that are obtained by events rather than summonable LRs, which are hard to obtain by anyone, even pay-to-play players. But the thing is, pay-to-play players will eventually get that card because they will put money into it. I'm speaking for myself. I am not going for LR Rose, Goku, Black. Screw that. Did one video of them, that was probably it for the summoning part. Whatever. I have LR going. I have the strongest card in the game. That's what I mean. I don't have, well, it's different for me though. I'm a YouTuber. I can't speak from my perspective. But like, free-to-play players, hang in there. That's all I gotta say. Hang in there. Hopefully you get lucky pulling any of the God leads to just keep surviving throughout these events, especially Janemba. That's gotta be tough for you guys without a God lead. Honestly, that event has to be tough. Not the fact that he just dodges the different phases you have to go through, the type advantages, and the same damage he can deal to you, you know? That's gotta be crazy for you guys. But yeah, let me just wrap this up real quick. Yeah, hopefully free-to-play will get better in Dokkan eventually. Hopefully. I hope so. I mean, that's what I was thinking. Hopefully they will come up with new events. 50% leads, hell, well yeah, 50-60% leads, maybe easily obtainable Super Strike cards, stuff like that, you know, or more free LR cards, you know, LR cards that are attainable through their own event, you know, like Frieza, like Goku, like androids. Everyone has a different method. I want them to release more LR cards with their own way to obtain, to get, you know, obtained, basically without having to spend stones. But yeah, that's my take on things. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box below. How do you think free-to-play is in Dokkan at this moment? I honestly think it's, like I said, if you don't get lucky and pull 120% God lead or pull any God lead, you're generally out of luck. You know, you can't do, you're easily limited to the things you can do in Dokkan without a God lead. You know, at this point, LR Broly broke the game. I'll probably say that for another video. It broke global. I think he came out way too early. He's way too powerful to even be in global at the moment. They released him kind of good time in the JPN, but that's another story. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. And peace. You